Hello and welcome to the LawyerFair Daily Podcast. I'm Andrew Weaver, CEO at LawyerFair. And those of you who are very wise subscribers to our the LawyerFair YouTube channel will be aware that of the many videos and audios we've produced during the last few months, our introduction to LawyerFair video remains by far the most watched. I think there are almost 3,000 views now of that video, which is fantastic. So I'm delighted to welcome today to the Daily Podcast the man who created that video for us, Mr. Ozzy Eyre. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Andrew. It's a real pleasure and privilege to be here. Thank you very much indeed for inviting me.
Not at all. And we had so many compliments about that video. I mean, it was very much at the beginning of our journey, but I think it had I know it had a really big impact. So, Ozzy, you've been kind enough to give us a few minutes this morning, really to explain a bit more about why businesses should use video and the impact of video in the wider market.
Sure, be delighted to do so. Now, I don't want to bore people, but it's always useful to start with a few stats, but I'll try and keep them as light as possible. Bear in mind that these stats don't come from me; they're independently produced. Now, the reason most businesses, in fact, all businesses, of course, I'm going to say that because that's my business, but all businesses should consider using video is that it is a growing medium. I mean, Cisco.com tells us that 2/3 of the world's mobile data traffic will be video by 2016. And Mist Media that says that the average user spends 88% more time on a website with video. Now, why that's important is Google measures the amount of time people stay on your website, and they will helps towards your ranking. So the longer you can keep people there, the better you will rank on Google. If you're keen to target decision makers, well, Brainshark.com has done research that suggests 59% of senior execs prefer video over text. It's not just in the commercial world, though, because Dr. Richard Wiseman made a study comparing a talking head video of him delivering a lecture and then had an animation made based on the exact soundtrack. He ripped the soundtrack out of that video of him giving the lecture. He then split a sample of around 1,000 people into two groups. One was shown the talking head video and the other the animation. Afterwards, he gave his students a surprise test on the content. Now, 70% of the people who watched the talking head video were able to recall key information, but 92% who watched the animation remembered it. So a massive increase there. So it's key, if you're wanting to get a message across, that an animation video, the sort that I produce, is beneficial in making that information stick.
But and I think, Ozzy, if I may say, because it may come across as a bit of a sales pitch there, but I know it's not, because we've discussed this.
No, absolutely not.
And the other thing, because I would endorse, it's actually pretty obvious, isn't it? If you stick a head in front of someone who chatters away for 5 or 6 minutes, fine, there may be some great content there. But if you make it animated, if you create visuals, we're very visual people. The human condition is very visual, so it's clearly going to stick, particularly some of the key messages. And again, just to endorse the quality of the video you produce for us, we actually get people commenting on particular parts of that video.
Oh, that's very gratifying.
It's really interesting, and they say, "Oh, we really like that bit because it really endorsed a particular point about what you provide." So I just wanted to give you that kind of backup as well. That in our experience, real experience, the animation really has stood out.
That's excellent to hear. Okay, so if you're making your own video or indeed commissioning a video, there are certain key things that I would suggest people bear in mind, because people may have heard some of those stats and think, oh, crikey, I'd better have a video then. The key thing is to start with the end in mind. Now, that might sound obvious, but decide what is the purpose of your video. Because believe me, I do get clients come to me and say, I need a video. And I say, well, yes, what do you want it to do? Oh, I haven't really thought about that. I just know that I need a video because everybody tells me I need a video.
Yes.
So what's the purpose of the video? What reaction are you wanting to elicit? Is it solely to inform? Is it, just to tell people about stuff? Is it an instructional video? Or do you want the viewer to do something as a result of watching? Now, decide what that is. Are they to click a button to request more information? Are they to phone you? Decide what's the purpose of that. Now, also, you need to decide who the viewer is. Who is your audience? And please don't say everyone, because it isn't. It's typically better to appeal strongly to a smaller well-defined niche than to go for a broader appeal. You will have far more response if you do that. It's true, you might hack one or two people off if you do that. They may feel excluded, but you will get a far stronger response if you clearly define a niche and apply to them. And identifying that audience helps in selecting the right language to use in speaking to them. Another one is decide on your message. Now, again, back in my days in corporate life, I can remember sitting through innumerable presentations, sort of the PowerPoint type stuff. Some were deadly dull, others were full of exciting ideas. But here's the thing. Both seem to get the same result. It's hardly surprising for the dull presentations that there was no result, no change in behaviour at the end of it. But it can seem pretty puzzling that the exciting ones that were chock full of great ideas didn't get a result. But that's the problem. There are too many ideas, and as a result, nothing happens because people go away overloaded and overwhelmed with all this great stuff that they can be getting on with. So try to base your video around one key idea. Now, it's okay to have supplementary ideas, but only as long as they're supportive of the main thrust of the video and don't take the viewer off at a tangent. Another is focus on benefits. Now, I know this is an old chestnut, but your audience is typically only interested in one thing. How will your product or service make their life better? Now, I know you've probably spent your entire career to date developing that product or service, and you know everything that's gone into it. And you probably want to shout about all those benefits all those features rather, that you've built in. I know, because I've done exactly the same when I've developed products. I want to tell everybody about all the little nuts and bolts that go onto it. They're not interested. They just want to know how it's going to benefit from them, and that's what they'll buy. Now, they may use. That's not to say ignore the features, but major on the benefits, because they'll use those features to justify their purchase to their spouse or their or their friends down the pub. But it's the benefits that sell to them.
Ozzy, I have been down that features and benefits road, and I've been on both sides of it, and I completely concur. And it's often only experience that makes you realise that you've really got to get the benefits across. Listen, that's been brilliant. And we do try and clip these daily podcasts to at least less than 45 minutes, Ozzy. So but I'm teasing you about the time, because that has been a really, really interesting delivery of the key points. I mean, start with the end in mind and appeal to a well-defined niche, I think for me are the two big takeaways from that. Now, the website is promosforprofessionals.com. Have I got that right?
Yes, it is. Promosforprofessionals.com.
And I might also add, if anybody's interested, we got Ozzy to do the voiceover on ours, and again, I think it was part of the quality of it. Now, you do separate voiceover work as well, Ozzy, don't you?
Yes, I do.
You're happy to back up other people's videos with a voiceover.
Absolutely, and as you found, it's difficult to shut me up. I'm sorry.
No, not at all. I'm teasing. That's brilliant. Anything else that you wanted to finish off with at all?
Yeah, a couple of key points.
Great.
When you get to the call to action, tell them what to do. Don't ask them. If there's something you want them to do as a result of watching it, tell them. Tell them politely, but give them clear instruction. Don't be dull. Throw in the odd gag. Surprise them. It's called breaking state. So, and if you're doing a screen capture video of a PowerPoint presentation, which it can be great, have something happen on screen every 8 to 13 seconds. Keep them interested. And don't, unlike this podcast, don't make it too long. If you want to get to a call to action, get there as quickly as you can, but give them the value along the way.
Yeah.
So, because while in normal conversation, people would not sort of just wander off mid-sentence because politeness would keep them there, with a video, people will click away and not feel rude about it. You want them to hear your key message, which is your call to action at the end. So don't make your video a frame longer than it needs to be.
Ozzy, brilliant stuff. Promosforprofessionals.com is the website. If you want to see Ozzy's work in action, then our video, Introduction to LawyerFair, is a pretty good way to start. Thanks so much for your time.
My pleasure, Andrew.
Thanks, Ozzy. That was the LawyerFair Daily Podcast. Thanks for listening.